How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back to yet another review. And it is old ale time in the form of J.W. Lee's Harvest Ale. First off, I even think they classify it as Barleywine. It's an old ale to me, so I'm going to call it an old ale, even though they call it Barleywine and other people call it Barleywine. Anyway, if you've watched any of my other reviews, and I talk about some of my favorite beers, old ales are it, and I always mention three beers, not two beers, three beers. I mentioned Thomas Hardy, J.W. Lee's, and North Coast Old Stock. For one, because I like their base, and I also like it when they age. And yeah, super excited to give this a review. I think I've only reviewed one J.W. Lee's beer so far. I think it was an 08 Harvest Ale, which I would have done last year, which means it would have been like 2 to 4 to 6 years old. This is 2015. This is a 2011 version. So you're talking about almost 4 years, depending on when this is bottled. So there you go. Perfect amount of time to crack the sucker open. As far as what it says in the bottle, Harvest Ale, limited edition. This fully fermented strong ale has been brewed as a celebration of the brewer's art. It can be enjoyed now or laid down like a vintage wine for enjoyment in years to come. Product United Kingdom, 11.5% alcohol, brewed in 2011. So it's brewed in 2011. Who knows when it actually got in the bottle. Government warning stuff, brewed and bottled, recycling stuff, and that's pretty much it. Don't see any kind of dating code or anything like that on here. So I actually don't know when it was bottled, but it was brewed then. So we'll see. Yeah, label-wise, J.W. Lee's, they're old labels, really old ones. Probably can't see it, but back here, these are very cool. Probably have a hard time seeing them, but these I dug. Once it got to the late 2000s, they were a little bit ostentatious. They were kind of very graphic, very, I don't know how to put it. I don't know, new, I guess you'd say. It seems like they've kind of gone back and kind of refined it, made it a bit more classy, so I'm a huge fan of these labels. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so let's see if I enjoy this beer. I've had the 11 a couple times, but it's been probably about 8 months or so since I've had it, so that extra time should have made it gain quite a bit. Oh, that came out a little bit hotter than I thought it would. Yeah, so never had one really pour that vigorous for me before. The bottle's been sitting in my refrigerator for, I don't know, about a month now, so I shouldn't have been jostled in any form or fashion, but anyway. Got a gigantic 4-finger head of that sucker. A smaller to bigger bubbles cascading up top. Decently creamy top, but you can see it's kind of breaking down pretty quick. There's like really humongous kind of bubbles forming on the side and just kind of breaking down. Color-wise, that's the good stuff right there. I mean, that's just got this orange with a hint of reddish, touch of brownish kind of hue that almost glows when close to a light. This beautiful, hazy, unfilteredness kind of just floating around in there. It looks absolutely fantastic color-wise. Yeah, that looks like a beer that I would enjoy. So, it looks beautiful. Head's a little bit weird, but looks beautiful. See what she smells like. Excuse me. Just rich sugars, like brown sugar. Just a slight bit of like a yeastiness there. Toffee, caramel. Your big points for your English old ales, your English barley wines. But it's that kind of caramelized, burnt brown sugar is like the biggest part of the nose there. Yeah, it smells good. Body looks good. Let's see if she tastes good. Cheers. Wow. Oh. That's delicious. Oh. Good God. Man, every time I drink this beer, I forget how much I love it. Until I drink it again. Then I realize, God damn, I love this beer so much. First things first, mouthfeel. It's not thick. and it's not fluffy, but it has almost like it's not going to sound like a positive, but it is like a grittiness to it, almost like it has like hard particles kind of floating around it, but each one of those particles kind of is bringing flavor to the beer, so it's not just debris in there, and it's not sediment, it's part of the body itself. It's kind of hard to describe it. It just literally explodes on the tongue with tons of flavor. That flavor, like I said, that caramelized brown sugar, toffee, caramel, and J.W. Lee's has always used, especially particularly for their harvest ale. They tend, even their Moonraker I've had, and they have this. It has to be a unique yeast they use because it does leave this. I don't want to say bizarre aftertaste, but it's just this. I've never been able to dial in the flavor. It just tastes like a unique flavor from the yeast profile they use. But it's absolutely enjoyable. Like I said, that mouthfeel is absolutely fantastic. It's not thin, it's not thick, but it has that kind of texture to it. It brings flavor to it. Taste-wise, it's very English. It's quintessentially, jeez, can't even get that out of my mouth. Quintessentially English in that it's the caramel toffee, blah, blah, blah. But that brown sugar, that caramelized brown sugar is the leader in the clubhouse. This is going to get bigger and huger and bolder and more deliciouser with time. And there's that unique J.W. Lee's signature aftertaste to it. That I've yet to pin down. Like I said, I'm just throwing it out there, assuming it's some kind of flavor based off the yeast, but it could be a particular hop. I mean, English old ale, and you assume they're just kind of throwing fuggles all around, but who knows? But it's just got this unique aftertaste. I've never been able to kind of figure out what it is. I looked into it before, but I couldn't figure it out. But anyway, absolutely fantastic beer. One of my favorite going as far as particular styles, in their 2011 version is one of the best ones I've had in a while. Like I said, I've had J.W. Lee's from 1997, I think would be the earliest, maybe a little bit earlier, up until now, and I've had every year's iteration or version of it, and even older and newer ones. And this base seems to be my favorite in the clubhouse. Yeah, absolutely fantastic beer. Rating wise, in its current form, being 4 years old, I'd give it a 94. Yeah, that good. It's going to get better and better. 94 overall. Value and availability. The 2011s are kind of weird in that they're not easy to find, but I always tend to come across them. It's just a beer that, how do I put it? If I go out and try to find it, I might be able to find it. But if I'm not looking for it, I always kind of stumble across it. So I'm going to give it like a 5 on a availability scale, just because I can find it every now and then. Value. Their price point is usually high. But for the kind of beer you're getting, and the fact that it'll sell like a champ, I don't have issues typically with the price. I believe I paid just a skosh north of $20 for the 750. And for me, that's not too bad. So I'll give it a 7 on a value scale. So yeah, what I say, 94 overall. Availability 5 and a 7 on a value scale. Just, for me, this is kind of in the zone, right in my wheelhouse for the beers that I enjoy. So take that with a grain of salt. Like, you know, I judge beers, or I try to talk about beers, and I try to rate beers, whether I think they're made well or made bad. But we all have our favorites, and for this one, it's one of my favorites, so I might be a little bit biased. So there you go. J.W. Lee's Harvest Ale. If you like what beers, should you get this? Thomas Hardy. If you like that, you should get this. If you like a 4 or 5 year old North Coast Old Stock, you should get this. I'm trying to think of what else. Just your traditional English old ale flavors. Even if you kind of dip into like a wee heavy kind of Scotch ale-ish thing, if you like that, but you want a little bit not as dark a malt beer, not as roasted malt, A little bit more sweet forward, a little bit more sugar forward, a little more burnt sugar, caramel forward beer. That might be for you. And you're just a malt head in general. You owe it to yourself to give the world because it's just one of the best beers going around. At least I think it is. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you liked it, like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And yeah, if you'd like to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. Massive Beers in all 4 of those places. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful aged beer right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.